Okay, so Emily is the next speaker. Emily was born in Channel Islands, Guernsey, lived there all her life, and at 15 she started doing some campaigning, homelessness, child suicide, some really important causes. So today it's called Behind the Mask. Put your hands together for Emily.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here with you all today. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you that during the next 15 to 20 minutes, I really don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully something good. Standing up here in front of all of you amazing and inspiring people, you may see me as someone that looks as though they are prepared, confident and smiling and ready to take on their talk. Whilst I am trying to believe that is me on the outside, inside I'm feeling a very nervous person. To be honest, I'm terrified. And I'm trying to gather the words together today to deliver you my talk. I suppose I'm wearing a kind of mask, one which is designed to cover my nerves and hesitation, and instead attempt to present myself as that confident public speaker. And what I want to talk to you all about today is about the person behind the mask. Before we all get started, I just wonder if you can all take a moment to think about some of the masks that you may have worn at various times in your lives, what you chose or felt you had to show to others, how that makes you feel inside, and why you may find yourselves doing this. There are a range of examples of masks that we do wear in today's society, including the social media mask, the I'm fine mask, the mask of confidence, and the mask of toughness. Hopefully this helps everyone to see that we all wear masks at different points in our lives, in many different situations, and for lots of different reasons. My talk will be looking at the masks we wear in today's society and the reasons we wear them. Sometimes this is right and appropriate, but it can also be a sign that things are not okay. I will be sharing with you two of the masks I have worn and sometimes still wear in my life, my story behind this and what has changed over time to enable me to reveal the real me. Mask 1, the mask of confidence. One of the first masks I've recognised I have worn from a young age is one I call the mask of confidence. When I arrived into this world on September the 4th, 1993, in the Princess Elizabeth Hospital in Guernsey, I was totally unaware, like every baby, of the world I was being brought into. My mother had planned, like most expectant mothers, for her new baby and the life we would have together. Then I was born. I was 8 weeks early, and it was clear that things were not going to be straightforward. At 18 months old, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. For those of you that may not know what this is, it is a condition where physical movement and development are affected as a result of damage to the developing brain, either during pregnancy or just after birth. This meant for me that during my growing up as a baby and through my childhood, I was met with many physical challenges, including not being able to walk without support. I had to use sticks and splints and wear specially adapted shoes to help support me with my walking. I had appointments with a physio on a daily basis and a really big operation at the age of 9, which then allowed me to walk better over time. And I think it was from this point that I recognised I was wearing a mask. To the outside world, to the many doctors, surgeons, physios, nurses, occupational therapists, society, and my friends and family, I was desperately trying to show them all that I was feeling brave, confident, strong, determined, and that I understood what was happening to me throughout this journey. In reality, I was scared and frightened of the unknown. I was frightened of the changes that were happening to me and of the painful physiotherapy that I would just smile through. My doctors would talk to me and my family about my treatment. They would be constantly attempting to reassure me that everything was going to be okay, and soon I would be getting better, and that life at some point would return to some form of normality, whatever that was. It felt as though having this much support, love and care meant that I should have nothing to be afraid of, and that there was no need to be fearful of anything. Sometimes it felt as though to admit to fear would be ungrateful. But as soon as I was alone, either at hospital or at home, I would often cry and tremble because I felt so alone and in so much pain, and not confident enough to face what was ahead of me. I felt confused and lost, and as well as the physical pain, I was afraid of not being accepted into society, scared that I would be rejected, judged, and isolated because of my disability. and my experience through my early school years in mainstream school confirmed my fears. The stigma attached to me having my disability was at times extremely painful and difficult to cope with, and I felt I did not belong in society. I was called names and teased, which ruined my self-esteem. So my mask of confidence became my only friend. It was my protector. It kept me safe. I kept my mask of confidence close to me and wore it often throughout my early 20s and teenage years. A complication of cerebral palsy is that it has linked issues and other things can and do go wrong. At 11 years old, I lost the sight in my left eye, and at 16, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. As you will imagine, I was frightened, uncertain about my today and my tomorrow. There was no certainty for me, but with my mask, I was okay. Even though this was a lie, underneath the confidence mask, I was not feeling confident at all. I was a terrified and nervous wreck, and fear consumed my every waking moment. I knew I couldn't keep living like this. I read a quote on Pinterest, which I'd like to share with you. When you fear your struggles consume you. When you face your struggles, you overcome them. So what helped me confront my fears? What gave me the strength to not be beaten and helped me to believe in the mask of confidence? Well, the first thing was the continued love, care and support from my friends, family and professionals. They supported me and accepted me for me. There were the play and art therapists who would explain my treatment in a way that I could understand what was happening to me. This was a place where I could express my fears, my worries and concerns in a healthy way. There were charities and support groups that would offer me emotional support. I was given opportunities to take activity holidays for people with disabilities to help me achieve, build confidence, self-esteem, and have fun and be included just like everyone else. Finally, there was my own voice, the Emily voice, the voice I would talk to and remind that I was going to be okay, that I wasn't alone and it was okay to be scared and this fear wouldn't last forever. I was determined to still achieve just like any other person. That gave me hope and strength for the future ahead, to face everything and rise, and I chose to do just that to get me to where I am today. Mask 2, the I'm fine mask. The second mask I've been aware of wearing often is the I'm fine mask. You know when sometimes you'll be walking down a busy road, you trip and fall over flat on your face. People come running over and ask if you're okay. Your initial response is to laugh it off and say, I'm fine, even though you're secretly in pain and trying very hard not to cry in front of everyone and just to laugh it off. I guess as babies and young children, when they're not okay, they don't have the I'm fine mask, and they show their emotions, often loudly. In return, they get hugs and reassurance, and they start to feel better. I have worn the I'm fine mask a lot in my life, and there has been many reasons for this. For the last 13 years, I have battled depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. There have been many contributing factors that have affected this for me, including emotional abuse and violence, bereavements, my physical health, and family breakdowns. The thing I find with trauma and mental health, there is sadly a huge amount of stigma attached to it. I have felt a lot of guilt and shame, and this in itself makes it harder to ask for help and support. I noticed this and experienced this myself. I have always tried to show a happy, smiling face on the outside, while in reality, I was broken. I was hurting. I was angry. I felt trapped in a dark tunnel of hopelessness and despair. I didn't want to be alive in this lonely, confusing and isolating world I found myself in, where all I could think about was hurting myself and ending my life, ending the intense emotional pain. Then this ordeal would be over with. Meanwhile, I would just tell everyone that I was fine, because that way I didn't have to try and explain myself and what I was truly thinking and feeling. I would force myself out of bed every day, paint a false smile on my face, and do my best to function and carry on with everyday life. While in reality, I wanted nothing more than just to shut myself away, lock all the doors, and battle a frightening war inside my head. I felt ashamed of myself, I blamed myself, and I punished myself, and I believed the hurtful and painful echoes in my head, reminders of the words put there by the person who had abused me. I hated being stuck in my own mind and my own body, but it was easier than opening up and letting other people see into it. I sat in countless mental health appointments telling them everything was okay and that I didn't need their help. The I'm fine mask made me angry underneath. It made me a liar. It made me hate me and everyone else. It made me hate my life, and it was destroying my mind, body and soul. It made me cry. It made me break. It told me I was a mistake. For so long I believed the lies of this mask, and it wasn't till 2015, after one of my first suicide attempts and a resultant stay as an inpatient in hospital, that I realised I couldn't keep on telling everyone around me that I was fine and listening to the mask and its lies. I knew I had to be brave, honest and strong. I had to make that decision, and so I chose to fight back and regain control of my life. I started going to mental health support groups with others to talk about my mental health and feelings. I took medication to help me manage my symptoms. I wrote down my thoughts and feelings in a journal. I took the time for mindfulness and meditation. I started to be kind to myself. I rang helplines and I got support from charities and online groups. I found a community of understanding and acceptance, and in that community I learnt the truth, that the I'm fine mask had been hiding behind its lies. I learnt that it was okay to feel like this, so I asked for help. And then I became an addict. I became addicted not to drugs, but to the positive quotes and sayings, and to spending time with those who gave me the hope I finally believed in. And it was the voice of hope which I now realise had been so desperately to be heard, which helped me to break free from the I'm fine mask, which was blocking my hearing it. Again, there are times I'm tempted to pick up the I'm fine mask, and most people wear it sometimes after all. But for me, that's a dangerous path, a slippery slope to a place where I'm deaf to the voice of hope. If you hear me say, I'm fine, ask again, please. So what have I learnt from all of this? I've learnt how important it is to be honest with yourself as a person. I've had to build up trust in myself, love and accept myself for simply just being me, and stop comparing myself to others, and be proud of myself for being so determined to create a positive and healthy future ahead of me. As part of my work as a volunteer and campaigner, I am determined and desperate to see a community of acceptance and understanding, a place for you to get your voices heard on what matters and is important to you, regardless of disability, ethnicity, race and religion. Through my volunteering and campaigning with disability, mental health, youth homelessness and youth suicide charities, I am seeing incredible things happen. I'm helping to give hope and inspiration to others that are faced with great adversities, that they can still achieve and do amazing things with their lives. For example, through my coaching with Guernsey Mobility Let's Go, a group of inspiring individuals of a range of physical and learning disabilities are offered opportunities to try out different sports, regardless of their disability, are able to work on strengthening and teamwork skills, have fun, and most importantly, be happy. As coaches, we guide and connect with them and coach them towards their own incredible goals, which gives them a sense of purpose, something to be proud of, builds confidence, and improves their self-esteem. There is also the many charities that have supported me on this journey. Guernsey Mind has given me a voice for mental health, has helped to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health, put on events and run campaigns, and provide training to help the community be open and honest about mental health. I feel honoured to be able to help this organisation with continuing to do this, as a way to help me come to terms with my mental health and help me turn my life around and keep it recovery and give back for all the support I have received. Action for Children has enabled me to find a safe place called home, has helped me to develop lifelong life skills, has kept me safe from harm, has given me incredible opportunities, emotional support, and brought me and my family back together again. I am now helping others as a young ambassador to be a voice for young people on what's important to them through the inclusion team. I help to improve services, opportunities and accommodation for young people and share my story with others on how this incredible charity has helped me turn my life around. There has also been Papyrus, Prevention of Young Suicide, and the Mo Foundation. Papyrus has helped me to openly talk about suicide, has given me a safe space through Hopeline UK, their national suicide prevention helpline, to talk openly about what is causing my thoughts of suicide with a suicide prevention advisor, has given me a resource known as the Suicide Safety Plan to keep me safe in times of despair and distress, offer hope in darkness and to help me see my reasons to keep on living, and see a life out there for me. Through organising a local hope walk last year in Guernsey, myself and a team of others brought together the local community to raise awareness and talk about suicide, which is so incredibly important so that we can reduce the stigma and fear around it and remind people there is help and hope. Finally, the incredible Mo community, a place where I've been accepted and privileged to meet inspiring and awesome people. I've been given the opportunity to grow as a person, relate to people and understand others better. This has helped me on my coaching journey to listen to others going through difficult times, improve my connection with others, rebuild and improve relationships, help others achieve their own goals, and also coach myself going forwards on my journey in life. So my last question to you all today is, what can you change in your life to reveal the real you? What are you hiding behind your mask? As the verse from The Greatest Showman tells us, I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Thank you very much.
You done good, didn't you? Good. It's okay. Emily was a little bit nervous before, and we've been exchanging some messages via email and text. But you see, you done excellent, didn't you? And I believe there was a lot of important stuff that you spoke about in that talk. And you know what's powerful about it is when you speak your truth, you allow other people to look at their own story, but also look at people around them and see that sometimes people are going through things and are on journeys, but we just assume everyone's okay. So once again, can we give her a round of applause? Do you have any questions for the amazing Emily?
So when you get those thoughts of suicide, what makes you push through it?
Sorry, I didn't hear what she said.
When you get the thoughts of suicide, what helps you push through?
I think for me, through Papyrus, they've got what's called a suicide safety plan. So it's a plan that you develop with a trained professional, and they help you list your reasons to keep living, the things in that moment you can keep yourself safe from, and removing those risks. And I think with that, on the helpline, you connect with that person and they help you to reduce that risk and build on a safety plan to work on things to, I guess, like for me, I play the piano. So I do like go and play the piano for half an hour, go and do some artwork. Just taking that time away to allow the thoughts to go through and then distract yourself from them, or even just writing them down, which is really important.
Great advice. Jacqueline.
Well done, Emily, that's amazing. Really proud of you. And I just want to know, how do you feel now, having just stood up on stage and conquered a massive fear?
I feel quite relieved. I feel quite proud as well, because this is a big step for me. When I I was chatting to Corinne last night, I looked back at my life this time 3 years ago, and I was on a mental health ward, and I was just like, thinking, actually, where am I going with my life? And I think it's taken me 3 years to pick myself back up down a path of destruction. And I've rebuilt connections with people. So I'm rebuilding that relationship with my family. And I'm asking for help and just being honest with myself and helping other people to do that. So, yeah.
Hey, Linda.
I just want to acknowledge you for everything that you've accomplished and you've gone through, and for sharing that with us. And on top of that, you started campaigning and volunteering at the age of 15. And how do you go from 3 years ago being in a hospital ward and then at some point making a decision that I want to give back and doing it in such a big way? Because you're doing interviews on the BBC, you're a spokesperson for youth homelessness and addiction, and your mental health awareness. It's not like you just said, I'm just going to share, do 1 or 2 talks. You're really taking this on. So what really shifted things for you to put yourself in a position where you wanted to help others?
I think because a lot of people have given me support, and I was just sat with somebody one day and I just thought, you know, because Guernsey Mind have given me so much support with mental health, and she came back to me and said, why don't you come when you're in a place ready to come and help? And I think it's built on from that, and just that connection with people. You know, in Guernsey it's such a small community and you know everybody, so people just come and talk to you and just say, you know, we're doing this project. And especially as well, like with the Guernsey Mobility Let's Go, that's sort of a new initiative. And you know, I got told when I had my disability I couldn't do sport, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. And I've just seen, like, there's one young lady that I coach and she's got no vision whatsoever, and she's just swam from one bay to another. And I think it's that voice, it's the way you communicate with people, and you're not telling them what to do, but you're just guiding them. And I think as part of campaigning, you're helping people to get to their own conclusion, but being there with them, if that makes any sense. But yeah.
Do you have, hey, Aisha, is it?
Yeah. Do you think that wearing the mask sometimes allows you to fake it until you leave it, or until you make it, as they call it?
Sorry. I think definitely, I think with the I'm fine mask, you know, we're so quick to just go, we're great. And that's not always the truth, and I think people need to realise the truth in themselves, that it's okay to not be okay. And I think that's for me, I've got like this little toolbox at home, which I did recently in therapy, and I've recognised my warning signs. So if a certain situation happens, or a certain flashback, or a certain thought, I just then react to that by looking at something to help me and build on that. And I think if you soothe yourself in that moment, you just feel better. And then you can just learn from that and think, what went wrong there? What can I change so that doesn't happen again? I think because I've created like a self-soothe box. So I've got lots of different things to help me with how I feel. So if I'm feeling like really stressed and anxious, I might just take like my little mindfulness out, or have a nice bath, or just something like that, you know, just little things.
One last question.
You spoke in your talk the other day, well done, by the way, it was amazing. And you spoke about experiencing stigma and unkindness at primary school. Do you ever still experience that? With regards to disability, and if you do, how do you respond to it?
Oh my goodness. I mean, sometimes it is still there, you know, people are quick, because I think with mental health you can hide your emotion, but physically it's there. So I think, you know, people come up to you and are quick to judge you and ask questions. But I think, you know, I'm in a place now where actually I can just say to people, this is what I've got, and I'm still a human being. I can still achieve any other person. And I think, especially with the coaching that I do, we've just launched an initiative where school children come and work with the adults with disabilities, so that they're more understanding that they're still human beings. They can still achieve in their own way. You're just helping them that bit more to get there. So yeah, thank you.
That's lovely.
Mo, me,
Others, everyone.